Hey friends, happy Wednesday, happy hump day. We are halfway through the week. Woohoo! Welcome to my live, and if you happen to be watching later, welcome to the replay. My name is Robin, and I'm with Robin's Egg Blue Creations, and I'm also an independent designer with Couture. Once you hop on tonight's live or you hop on the replay at a later date, please feel free to say hi in the comments and tell me where you are watching from. I am live in 2 locations this evening, so if you hear me refer to a comment that is not in your feed, that person is probably watching on a different platform. And at any time during this video you like what you see and you think others should see it, or you just want to help out my channel, please feel free to share the craft love wherever you have permission. Please don't spam me where you don't have permission to. If you are on Facebook, hit that heart button, hit that follow button. If you are on YouTube watching, hit that thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe. This helps my channel get seen by new people, and I greatly appreciate it, but it also helps you because it tells your algorithm that you like this kind of content, and hopefully you will see more like it. And as always, tag your crafty friends and invite them to watch along with you. And with that, let's go to the comments. Jason says, happy hump day from the other side of the door. And as others are hopping in, I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera because I'm getting a late start. Sorry about that. I had to find some extra mojo. And then I also had to figure out what I wanted to do. We got that done. So we are working on this Pen+Gear 8.5 by 11 craft notebook. I get these at Walmart. They're about $5 and a little bit of change. They used to be under $5, but they've increased the price. But super good, sturdy, hardcover. Not the greatest quality of paper, but I've definitely seen. I have notebooks that have lesser quality paper. I don't remember how many sheets it is. I've ripped the tag off, but I absolutely love these. Again, they're fairly inexpensive and they're pretty good quality. My transfer that I'm using is called Fold Your Hands. So it says, don't cross your fingers and hope, fold your hands and pray. So I'm going to experiment it a little bit. Nice little VeggieTales reference there. So I'm going to actually use ink this evening to do all of the text and the outline of the design, and then I'm going to try to heat set it, and then we are going to use some of our markers to color in the floral design. I'm going to test and see if maybe inking these notebooks works better. You know, sometimes the paste is raised and I'm afraid sometimes it'll chip off. So we're just going to test out and see if ink would work, if we can heat set the ink onto the notebook. I've done it with a wood sign before. I think I have it. Oh yeah, my let's flip the camera back. If you remember when I did Peppermint Patty, I actually used ink for the outline, and then I heat set it and it worked great. So I think it should also work on this craft notebook. So because these are reusable silk screen transfers and I need to put them back on this backer sheet, I'm going to mark the back side of the carrier sheet with the title of the transfer. That way I know when this is all clean and dry and ready to be put away that I need to return it to this side, not this side. And I don't think I'm going to wax. I am going to fuzz my transfer. So these are adhesive backed transfers. They are reusable about a dozen times, give or take, depending on how well you treat them. I am going to knock back a little bit of the adhesive because this is a paper surface. Jason says, ooh, experiment. Sounds like fun. I'm pretty confident that it will work. I'm just kind of, when I color in things, I prefer ink because, you know, our paste is water reactive. It's water soluble. So if you mix a liquidy type marker with the paste, and you're most likely going to get, you're going to get some bleeding. So trying to take out a step and some opportunities for failure by just using ink. Ugh, I need to clean my fuzz towel. Still pretty sticky, but let's see if that works. Make sure I've got it right side up. I think I'm going to pull the transfer over to my right just a little bit. I'm going to line the bottom up with mostly the bottom of the notebook. I can already tell that is not straight. Oops. Go fart. Just want to make sure there's some lint on the back side that's kind of right at the edges of the text. It's probably not totally straight, but it's straight enough. Let's do it. I can at least miss the shine that way. Okay, so I've got my black ink. I only have like 400 tubs of that. Most of them are almost empty. Looks like I need to order some more. Okay. Get some squeegees out. So this is black ink. It is heat set permanent. I'm just going to dip my little silicone squeegee in. And we're just going to pull it across the silk screen areas. I try to use a lighter touch when I am a lighter hand when I'm using ink. If I push really hard, typically, I try not to do that with ink so I don't squish the ink underneath the transfer. And then I also need to be mindful of my edges because I can get carried away. So now I'm just going back and kind of trying to get rid of all of those little squeegee lines, picking up all of the excess ink. Okay, I'm going to get a wipe before I forget. I'll try to wipe off this little tiny area down here. And then get it off of my fingers. That way, if I touch a part of my notebook where I didn't want the ink, I won't get ink on it. I'm going to pull it up slowly in case I missed any of the, sometimes it's easy to miss the tips or the toes of some of the letters, but I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to go pop this in my sink and spray it down. Okay, so now we're going to get it dry. You could totally leave it like this. If you wanted to. But we don't have to, so we're not going to. I'm going to plug in my heat tool. Normally I would use my quick dry tool, but I want to make sure that the ink gets really good and dry so that we can heat set it. Hopefully this doesn't scorch my paper though, or my paper cover. And then I'm also going to turn on my oops, make a mess. I'm going to turn on my little travel iron. dry. Okay, so when you heat set, you can use a home iron, you can use an easy press, you can use a heat press. For small projects like this, I just use my little travel iron that I purchased from Walmart. You also either need a Teflon sheet or a piece of parchment paper. And let me pull up the instructions. So when you use a home iron, you want to set it on medium or match the heat setting up with the heat setting that's recommended for the fabric that you're using. So you're going to use small circular motions. I would start at 30 seconds per side and then work up maybe to 1 to 2 minutes. True Couture instructions say 4 minutes, but 9 times out of 10 you might scorch your surface. So start with 30 seconds, build up to maybe 1 to 2 minutes per side. If you're using a heat press or an easy press, you want to set that to 305 for 30 seconds and use the same. Actually, with an easy press or a heat press, you don't usually have to do circles. And then always use parchment paper or a Teflon sheet as a barrier. So we're gonna, hopefully I don't scorch my notebook. And then I happen to have I purchased just this separately on Amazon. It's actually a heat press replacement pad. And so I actually use it with my heat press or my easy press. So I'm just going to try to heat press. I'm going to kind of look up, make sure that the ink is not coming up on the back side of my parchment paper, because then that means it's still wet and it might smear if I move my iron. Hello, Miss Bonita. Your computer is slow. She says she's watching on her phone. So we used the fold your hands, and we put it on a Pen+Gear notebook. I used ink instead of paste, and I'm just going to heat set it. And I'm just going to experiment, because when I use paste, sometimes it's raised, and I'm actually afraid that it's sometimes that customers are going to be able to pick the design off, or it's going to scratch off. So I thought I'll experiment with ink, and I bet it's a little bit more of a flat design that way. Less likelihood of it being scratched or picked off. I think I might need to turn that up a little bit. Anita says, that's beautiful. Yeah, I forgot I had it. I was trying to get a little bit more organized this morning, and I was like, wait, I got another ship. I've got some other transfers that I knew I had, but I obviously had misplaced them, because that's how I roll. And this one was in there. Yeah, that's really nice and smooth. Well, yeah, it's kind of like, sometimes you can use heat transfer vinyl in place of adhesive vinyl, so that's kind of where I got the idea. And then we used ink on that peppermint patty. My anxieties have anxieties. It was a wood sign. I just don't know when to know that it's heat set. I have sealed these notebooks before, the Karft notebooks with hairspray. I have a tighter on my desk. Now I have a dead piter on my desk. I think that's pretty good. It feels good. And don't be alarmed if your cover warps just a little bit because of the heat. I think as it cools, it should unwarp. Okay, I think we're good. So I'm going to turn that off. And then we're going to put that away. And then I have watercolor markers and I have acrylic markers. We'll see which one works better. And I have some scrap pieces of watercolor paper that we can swatch with. I swatched it for the stitch the other day. I don't know if you guys, I did little stitch. These were my swatches. It doesn't look as bad, I guess, as I thought it did, but I ended up just doing the clipboard in black and white, and I think it looked better. But so there's my stitch that I colored the other day. Okay, so let's get some greens out. That's not green, but that's a fun color. I think that's all the green. So we'll just kind of figure out which green we like the best. Just going to use this other side. And these are both Artistro markers. This is an acrylic set. And then these are watercolors. This one just has a brush tip. These have a brush tip and a bullet tip. Okay, I digress. That's pretty. I'm just swatching these to kind of figure out what color I want. I'm going to use a couple of different colors of green for the leaves. That one is a contender. Ooh, I like that one too. And that one no worky. I think I like those two. Then let's I like the brush tip on these better. This one is super flexible, so I don't feel like I have a lot of control. So I think we'll just stick with those two. Okay, so I'm going to alternate the colors. Actually, let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, is that better? That's kind of bright, but that's okay. Whoop, I almost dropped my marker. In fact, just in case. Do I want to alternate the leaves, or do I want to keep the leaves the same in this bunch versus this bunch? And you probably want to keep in mind that I swatched on white, but this is craft, so they're going to look a little different. The color as far as white versus black, or white versus craft, because this is this color here. That is not the color that it's looking like on the craft. This is just good peace of mind, because then I know that these markers won't make the ink react like it would the paste. So I can truly color without having to worry about mudding up my colors. I might have to go back in and retrace some of the black lines, but you may have to go in and do a couple coats. You can also, if you don't want to use the markers, you could also get some fine paintbrushes and just water down your ink or your paste. I just find that this is a little easier. I'm going to pretend that those are flowers, petals, and we'll just make these down here the leaves. No, I like the brush tip. Okay, go back and do this color. I think I'm just going to do the leaves that have the vein that runs through the middle. I'll leave the other ones as kind of a flower petal. That way I can add other colors. So like these, I'm going to leave as flowers. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Like I said, I will have to go in and add the veins back in the middle of the leaves, and I may have to kind of touch up some of the outlines, like that one I kind of botched up the outline. That should be fairly easy to do with a marker. I'm going to leave those to the side so I remember that's what I used. And I think I'm going to pick brighter colors since I am using the craft notebook. So I noticed that these were darker colors, but they're a lot lighter on there. That's pretty. So we'll use that. So I've got 1, 2, 3. So I think I'll pick 3 colors. I probably need a blue. Possibility. I think that one's a bit too dark. I don't think that's going to work. I think we'll just go with these 3 colors. I don't see anything else besides like a darker purple. I think we'll just go with these 3. Okie doke. Actually, I could add a 4th color because this flower has a little dot at the bottom. I could use a darker blue and a blue there. Maybe we'll do that. So I think I'll use the bullet point for this little dot, maybe. I really like the brush tip on these. I'm just going to go back in and darken it just a little bit. Okay. And it would be pretty just to leave it just black and not colored in. It'd be pretty in white. If you used this craft notebook, you could do it in any solid color. Gold, disco, like the metallic colors, rose gold, shimmer frost, shimmer shadow. Those would look really pretty. The color of the month, if you have Wayfinder, that would look really pretty. think we'll do these little berry things. I know berries aren't usually green, but these are going to be green. Hello, Miss Grace 32. She says it looks beautiful. Thank you. Here's what the rest of it looks like, but I've got it protected, so in case I drop my markers, I won't drop it on the rest of the image. So I know these are probably supposed to be leaves, but they're going to be flower petals this evening. The blue color really makes it pop. It does, actually. I'm not normally a blue fan, but and I'm definitely not a colorista. I just like to color things in. So I need to find, I need like a fine line black. I was going to try to add in some of these veins back in. See, like I probably should have done those in pink because those didn't have the vein. I'm going to try to add the outline in very lightly without jacking everything back up. I need like a fine micron color or marker. Oops, missed one. So I'll add a vein into these, even though there wasn't one. Okay. I'm going to try, actually, oh, that's red. I don't know if I have a fine line black that works. to try to fix some of the outlines that I'll try this ink pen and see if it works. Like, especially these blue flowers. It doesn't quite match. I just don't want to mess them up. But I need something that's fine line. This Arteza pen might work. I was going to try to add some of the detail back in. So I'm just kind of adding the black outline back in where I kind of colored over it. I think I need a micron pen for this. I don't have one. I could probably use this one, but I don't think the brush tip will work. It's going to get too dark. I'm just gently wisping it. Should probably stop while I'm ahead. I think that looks, oops, I forgot one. I think that looks pretty good. Oh, it's Aisha. You're just on your YouTube channel right now. Well, I like your YouTube channel name. Welcome, welcome. Okay, here's what we have. Not too bad. So now I think, let's give that a good dry. Oops, I unplugged it. And then we'll pick out some, I don't know whether I want to do a yarn tassel or a fabric tassel. Probably yarn. So I have to find some yarn that matches. Isha says it looks beautiful. Anita says, give me some heart eyes. Thank you. Jason says, wow, that's gorgeous. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Especially since this was very much an impromptu project. Okay, I think that's good and dry. Those away. Here is, I really like, oops, I'll take that off. I really like these markers. Let me zoom out again. Kind of in super close. These were my favorite pick. These are the, that's not the right. I don't, well, I do have the box. These are the watercolor brushes, these. And they're not bad. The brush is a little softer than I would prefer. When I get the yarn, I think I've got the box in the recycle bin over here. So let me go pick out some yarn. And I'll get the box. So actually that goes in that box. Ouch. These are those markers. You want to look at those on Amazon. Okay, I found coral, but that's actually a little more pink than it is coral. I've got that one, which might not work, which might work because it picks up some of the pink and the blues. I have these two. Do you think either of those? I know it's kind of hard to pick on camera. So we'll go A or B. What do you think? And then I'll go find some beads while you're thinking. Let's give it a bead. Benita says B. Maybe we'll do this one. Okay. And I need a twisty tie. Okay, anybody else? Benita voted B. That was kind of what I was thinking. Okay. Now, my head, I got to figure out how I'm going to make the tassel again. Okay. Just kind of thinking in my mind. So this is going to be my the hanging part of my tassel. So I think I want to loop at the top so I can thread it through. When I'm done, I can thread it through the coil and then pull the tassel through. So I need to leave enough that I can get the whole tassel through. So I think I'm going to tie a couple knots. Is that going to be long enough? Right here. And then we're going to loop our beads on. And I always save all of my little twisty ties to kind of act as a needle threader or a bead threader. So I just fold it in half. So this loopy part is going to be my needle, top of my needle. And this way I can thread my beads on. Easy peasy. Hopefully I made my knot big enough. Yep. So there, I've got my beads on, and then I think I'm just going to take the 2 strands and I'm going to tie a loose knot. I want a little bit of slack so that there's a little bit of give in my beads. It's not necessarily a placeholder, but so then I'm going to make my tassel. I'm going to figure out how long I want it. Probably about 4. I'm gonna use the 4. And I probably don't use this the right way, but it's the way that I figured out how to use it. I stick my fingers in here so that when I start to pull, when I wrap my yarn, it doesn't squeeze in as much. So I'm gonna count 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And wouldn't you know, the part of the yarn that we ended up using has like 0 blue in it, but that's okay. And then I'm going to cut one more piece. This will be what we use to tie it off when we're done. So I'm just going to unwrap it. And I'm actually just going to then tie this piece around. This will actually end up on the inside. So I'm going to tie it tight a few times. Hopefully that's tight enough. And then I'm going to cut all these apart. Oops, I did not cut that straight. See if I can. Oh well, it's going to end up a lot shorter because I did not cut those straight, but that's okay. So now we're just going to give it a little bit of a, tame the hair a little bit. I'm trying to get rid of that little separation that's on both sides. And then we're going to take this yarn. I'm going to put a loop at one end. And we're going to hold that against the tassel. This loose piece is going to hang up. And then we're going to use this piece and we're going to tie it around. And I kind of give it a little tug every time I pull it around, and that kind of makes it a lot tighter. And then when we get done, I'm going to lift up my little loop. I'm going to put my tail that I've been wrapping around through the loop, and then I'm going to hang on to the tail, and then I'm going to pull up on this tail, and then that's going to secure our the neck of the tassel. And then you just want to cut these off. Pretty flush to the tassel. And then we'll have to give this a little haircut, which I'm going to do that in here. I wished I had cut it a little straighter because I'm going to lose a lot of length, but that's okay. And I only use these scissors for fabric and yarn, so they actually cut pretty decent. You want a sharp pair of scissors if possible. And there's our cute little tassel. So then I'm just going to take the loop, and I'm going to put it through one of the coils on the top. Let's use our little threader. You okay out there, Jason? If I get this done in the next 30 seconds, it'll be an hour, and under an hour. It's okay. Don't ever use fabric scissors on paper. I haven't gotten that fanatic. You probably got, people at Hobby Lobby probably got that fanatic though. So I'm just gonna, hopefully I left myself enough. I may not have. Oh, come on. I bet there were some ladies at Hobby Lobby that got onto you if you used their, Okay, I could also, let's see if I can figure this out. I haven't ever gotten on you for that though, because I don't necessarily have fabric scissors. Okay, I think I got it figured out. So I'm just fishing this loop over each of the beads. I think I can. I'm almost there. Ta-da! And there we go. A cute little notebook. You could use it as a prayer journal, scripture writing, just regular journaling. It would be cute if you had a family and you could go in and write what your prayers are, and then other people in your family could write in it. Lots of different things, but I think a prayer journal or a Bible scripture writing journal would be cute. Jason said he had fabric ladies cursing him. Excuse me, sorry. Jason says he loves it. Thank you. It turned out sweet, even though our tassel did not have any blue in it at all. Oh, there's a tiny, maybe a little bit that could pass, but I do think it's sweet. So if you happen to use this transfer for any of your projects, I would love to see it. Here you go. Oops. There you go. Cute little journal. I just love these craft journals from Walmart. They are one of my favorite things besides clipboards to paste and ink on. And I did use ink on this. I heat set it, so it is. It feels. There's no raised surfaces. It's kind of one with the notebook. Aisha says she loves it. Thank you. I do also want to let you know that, and I don't have the graphic for it pulled up, but if you again have been wanting to join as a Perks member, now is the time to purchase or to sign up to be a Perks member. Couture between yesterday and the 30th, you can join again for $1. Remember, it's normally a $20 buy-in, but you automatically get a $20 product credit back, and then you can shop at 30% off retail pricing every day. You also get access to exclusive promotions and sales. There's always usually a sale tab on my Chalk site for designers and perks only, so that is another benefit. So if you've been wanting to join the Perks membership, it's $1, so you basically earn $19 back. No, I don't, it's math. Yeah. You get $19 for free because you pay in $1, but you still get your $20 in monthly credit back. That is only for, I'm assuming it's only for the rest of the month, but then in July it goes back to $20. But it's still a great deal. Crafty math, it's free in my opinion because you pay in $20 and you get that $20 back in product credit that you can use within 30 days. Trying to think what else. There is a autumn launch on July 9th. So that includes fall, Halloween, and some Christmas, and a little bit of winter. Super fun designs coming up. So I'll be showing you those when mine come in. Is there anything else? Let me check I don't think there is anything else. I think there's still some patriotic stuff on sale. I don't know. I'll know. Check my business page tomorrow. I'll have that all figured out. They've changed the promotions on me so much this month I can't keep up. With that, though, I'm going to hop off and stop rambling. But again, if you use this transfer called Fold Your Hands, either post it in the Crafty Lounge group or post it on my business page or tag me. I would love to see your project. And with that, oh, Aisha says she loves it too. Thank you. I may have already seen that one. I need to go to bed. Thanks so much for hanging out with me this evening. Thanks so much for helping me pick yarn colors and marker colors. Definitely try ink, heat set permanent ink on in place of paste on some particular surfaces like paper, wood. Trying to think what else. Those are the two I would probably mainly trade them out, but it works great. Your paste or your markers and your paste does not run when you are coloring things in. So give that technique a try. I hope to be live again this weekend. I know I say that every week, but I have so many projects I need to get done, and I just need to start going live more. But I thank you so much for your support, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.